Red Squirrel wanted me to ask you your favorite VPN since you love them so much.
My favorite VPN. I've had an update. Okay, first I'll explain the joke, and then I'll tell you there's actually an interesting angle that I've been looking at VPNs too lately. So the joke is like, I think VPNs are overused. I think most people are paying for, they think they're paying for security. They're just paying for privacy when you can use a proxy server or Tor to do it for free, all that stuff. So funny enough, I was using them for censorship resistant, using them for, if you're in a bad network where there's all kinds of, you're at a coffee shop or whatever is fine, but using them at home, I never saw the point. However, I will say that I did want to, I have recently wanted to anonymize a little bit of my communication when I interact with dApps and stuff lately. And I found myself, okay, I'll just use the proxy server because it's free, or I can use Tor, but then the Tor browser, I didn't have MetaMask installed, so I couldn't really use it. So I was like, okay, if I need to use MetaMask, I'll just use a proxy server. So that I went to the free proxy server website. I talked about this before on stream too. There's a bunch of different free proxy websites where you can use them. And I was like, man, like I keep going through these ones and they're just not working. I don't know if like it says they're up, it says the uptime's good, it says they're fast. They're just not working. So I spent like 15, 20 minutes going through a whole bunch of different ones, trying them, turning on and off. And then finally I was like, man, okay, I'm just going to buy one. I'm just going to like buy a proxy server. I'm going to buy access to, for example, a proxy server. And, they're like $5 or something piece. You can get them. There's different websites and stuff. But that is like, so I don't need to install anything. So like why do I like proxies better than VPNs? Like that's like an interesting piece here. So with VPNs, you need to usually install some software. And when you install software, especially stuff that touches your browser, it is adding attack surface. Like those are different points of exposure that it's going to be interacting with. And you don't know what you're installing. What if they, plumb it with a bunch of ads and steal your data? You don't really know this stuff. So with proxy server, I just use a proxy extension that makes it fast to switch between them. All browsers support it natively, but you can use an extension like Proxy or otherwise to easily switch between on and off and all that stuff. And all you do is enter the address, the port, and the protocol, and you can turn it on and off whenever you want to use it. So there's no software installation. So to me, that's much more secure because there has been bugs. I've linked to them. I've talked about them on Twitter before too. There have been bugs where you install VPN software and there's some bug where literally a vulnerability where it's like you install it and then, they didn't check something. They didn't do security very well in some area. And now other people are able to, maybe possibly even hack your computer because you installed the security software. Like ironic, right? So I want to avoid all that. I like to optimize away from installing stuff. That's what I like better about proxy servers. You don't have to install anything. You can just use a free one or use a paid one and just use an extension in your browser to switch between them. And you still get the same, you still look like you're coming from somewhere else if you want to, anonymize yourself, whatever. So that's what I like better about proxies. Now, and that's why I still stay away from VPNs. However, I can see when I was in the process, I was thinking, this is why people like VPNs so much, because they install the software. They don't have to go buy a proxy server. They don't have to type in the numbers and IP address and ports, even though to me, that's like, just super easy. I know a lot of people may be a little daunting to learn the process. With a VPN, you just install the software and you can just turn it on and off and you're good to go. So I get the appeal, but I think it still comes with a risk I talked about and stuff too. And you got to pay for it monthly. And I think they're way more expensive than they should be, and their shield and all that stuff too. So there's all that stuff that comes with it. So it's funny how they made this whole industry out of like selling you this promise. And they say they do the security, they do all this stuff. They're for privacy. They don't do security. If anything, they add attack surface, which could make security worse. That's my opinion. So that's I think I went through the VPN. I've updated my sympathy for people with VPNs a little bit though too, of why I understand why they use them as much. But me as a security professional for over a decade, I've never used a VPN other than when I'm traveling because I wanted to avoid censorship. And they encrypt some more stuff, but it's not really a big deal. But at home, I have no idea other than changing your IP address, which you can do with Proxy Server or Tor. I'll leave it at that. But I posted that link too. I just wanted to say that if people want to look at so I mentioned earlier, I had Staked Wealth on, and he talked about, it's the 60K crypto hack and about the torrent. He downloaded the torrent and he had a hot wallet open and before he knew it, he lost a bunch of money. he wants to come on again for a security AMA and talk about where he's heard other people reach out after they saw the video and say they think the same thing happened. So apparently maybe there's some kind of like Tor Trojan going around that's looking for crypto wallets. So be extremely careful. Again, I would not download torrents. If you download torrents, do whatever you're doing. I would not do them on the same computer. First of all, I wouldn't do them on Windows, because if you do them on Windows, I have like Mac versus Windows versus Linux. We can get into that too. But if they're targeting people running Windows with torrents, so if you use Linux, for example, or a Mac to download torrents, if you download exe, it doesn't run, because they don't run on those platforms. They only run on Windows. So if you're downloading torrents on a Mac or Linux machine, and regardless if it was on your crypto wallet computer or not, even if you downloaded a Trojan, it wouldn't even run on that computer because it's not Windows. So it's like another reason to like use other operating systems. And even if you're going to do torrents, but if you must download torrents on a Windows computer, I would not do it on the same one where I do crypto, because you may download something that's bad and can take your money. And there's lots of anecdotal evidence of people losing their money over that. And that's the video that we went through the entire story and all that stuff.